It's February 15th, and Takatoshi Minamiyama, a 20-year-old college student from Kyoto, is on his way to school. On the train, he sees a beautiful girl named Emi Fujuku and instantly falls for her. For Takatoshi, it's love at first sight. Takatoshi studies visual arts and also creates political cartoons. He's a shy guy, so he's hesitant to approach Emi at first, but his feelings are too strong to ignore, so he makes a bold move. He skips his stop just to talk to her. When they get off the train, Takatoshi nervously tells Emi that he's fallen in love with her and asks for her email. Emi says she doesn't have an email, and Takatoshi assumes she's rejecting him. As he's about to walk away, Emi stops him and explains she really doesn't use email. They sit on a bench and start talking. Emi shares that she's also 20 and studying cosmetology. She's new to the city. When Emi asks why Takatoshi approached her out of everyone on the train, he says he can't explain it, but he feels like he's known her for a long time. Takatoshi begins to tell her about Takaragaiki Lake, but Emi suddenly gets up, saying she needs to leave. Before she goes, Takatoshi asks if they'll meet again. Emi seems emotional and replies, "Until tomorrow," before walking away. At school, Takatoshi tells his best friend Shoichi Ueyama about Emi. Shoichi, who's confident with girls, can't believe that shy Takatoshi actually asked for her contact information. Takatoshi, however, worries if he'll ever see Emi again. Shoichi reassures him, saying she'll come looking for him. The next day, Takatoshi searches for Emi on the train but doesn't see her. Feeling disappointed, he goes to the zoo to work on sketches for a school assignment. To his surprise, Emi finds him there. She compliments his drawing and says it's so good that his school should put it on display. Takatoshi is confused about how Emi found him at the zoo. Emi reminds him that he mentioned his plans during their last meeting, but quickly changes the topic. Takatoshi can't remember saying this, but before he can ask, Emi interrupts. She brings up the Takaragaiki Lake and asks what he wanted to tell her about it. Takatoshi explains it's one of his favorite places and takes her there. He shares a memory of falling off the pier and almost drowning when a woman saved him. Emi then reveals she also nearly drowned when she was 5, a strange coincidence that connects them. Before saying goodbye, Emi gives Takatoshi her phone number. Excited, Takatoshi tells his best friend Ueyama about it when he gets home. Ueyama encourages him to ask Emi out on a date. Nervous, Takatoshi calls Emi but struggles to find the words. Ueyama steps in, writing cards to guide him through the conversation. Takatoshi finally manages to ask her out, and Emi agrees. The next day, Takatoshi discovers his drawing has been displayed at school. Following Ueyama's advice, he visits the spot he plans to take Emi to so he can feel confident on their date. When the day arrives, Takatoshi takes Emi there and shows her a great time. They even watch a movie together. The date goes so well that by the end, Takatoshi gathers his courage and asks Emi to be his girlfriend. Emi hesitates, pointing out her flaws and emotional struggles, but Takatoshi tells her he loves everything about her. Moved by his words, Emi tears up. The next day, Emi visits Takatoshi's house to help him move into his new apartment. She finally meets Ueyama, who leaves after helping with the move. Emi stays behind to help Takatoshi organize. While unpacking, she finds a mysterious box in one of the cartons. Takatoshi explains that the woman who saved him at the lake gave it to him at a market 5 years ago. She told him not to open it until they meet again. After setting up his home, Takatoshi walks Emi to the station. On the way, he nervously gathers the courage to ask if he can hold her hand. Emi smiles and says yes. For the first time, they hold hands. Takatoshi feels overjoyed. It's his first time holding a girl's hand. Meanwhile, Emi becomes emotional and tears up again. As time passes, they grow closer. Emi starts cooking for Takatoshi, and her food amazes him. It tastes just like his mother's cooking. Emi jokingly says, "Maybe your mom adds chocolate to her food, just like me." This shocks Takatoshi because he never told her about his mom's secret ingredient. He begins to notice how Emi seems to know things about his life. She had even guessed earlier that his drawing of a giraffe would be displayed at school. When Takatoshi asks about it, Emi laughs and says, "What if I could predict the future?" He jokes, "Then I'd gamble all day and become super rich." The two continue spending time together. On the 15th day, they share an intimate moment, which leaves Emi emotional again. Later that night, Takatoshi walks her to the station. When he gets home, he notices Emi's journal on his table. Curious, he opens it and discovers something shocking. The diary contains predictions for the next 15 days. But something is strange. The first entry is dated March 16th, and the last one is March 1st. It looks like Emi has been living time backward. In one entry, dated March 15th, Emi writes about meeting Takatoshi's parents. Confused and overwhelmed, Takatoshi suddenly gets a call from Emi. She admits she left the diary for him to find. She promises to explain everything and asks him to meet her in his classroom at 6 a.m. tomorrow. She also tells him to bring a mysterious box with him. But just as the clock strikes midnight, Emi vanishes from the phone booth without a trace, leaving Takatoshi stunned. It feels like she disappeared into thin air. The next day, Emi meets Takatoshi in the classroom and reveals a shocking truth. She's from a parallel world where time flows in reverse. In her world, Takatoshi's future is her past, and her future is his past. That's how she knew his picture would be displayed at school. Takatoshi is stunned and doesn't believe her at first. But then, Emi explains something he can't ignore, how she knows his mother's secret recipe even though they've never met. Slowly, he starts to trust her. Emi then opens a box given to Takatoshi by the woman who saved him from drowning years ago. Inside is a photo of Emi with Takatoshi and his parents. Emi explains it's from her past, his future. She tells him she's been watching over him since he was little. Emi even reveals she was the woman who saved him and gave him the box. But there's more. Emi tells him that in the future, Takatoshi will save her life when she's just 5 years old. Because her memories of him fade as time flows backward, she keeps a journal to remember him. She also explains that their worlds align only for 1 month every 5 years. This month is special. It's the last time they'll ever be the same age. Emi tries to treasure their time together, but Takatoshi feels conflicted. He doesn't like the idea of living out someone else's story from a diary. He tells her he can't do it and confides in his friend at the laundry shop. Without sharing the full story, Takatoshi says that he and Emi are like the earth and moon, slowly drifting apart. His friend reminds him that their limited time together makes it even more important to cherish every moment. Suddenly, Takatoshi understands why Emi gets emotional. Their first meeting on the train was actually her last. Despite knowing the end was near, Emi acted like it was the beginning. Realizing how much she sacrificed for him, Takatoshi feels heartbroken. He immediately calls her to apologize. From that day on, they spend every moment they have left together, making memories. On March 15th, Takatoshi takes Emi to his hometown. They eat at his favorite restaurant, and Emi loves the food so much that she stomps her foot in excitement like a child. In a flashback, Takatoshi tells Emi he only plays football because it makes his dad happy, but his real dream is to become a comic artist. Back in the present, the couple visits Takatoshi's parents. His father is cold, but his mother is thrilled to meet Emi. During dinner, Takatoshi's mother tells Emi stories about his childhood. Afterward, she admits that Takatoshi's father may seem distant, but he deeply cares about his son. Before leaving, Takatoshi and Emi take a family picture, the same one from the box. On their way back, Takatoshi breaks down in tears, overwhelmed with sadness that he won't get to start a family with Emi. March 16th finally comes. It's the last day they'll be together as equals. For Takatoshi, it's the end. For Emi, it's the beginning. Emi has no memory of the 30 days she and Takatoshi spent together because every midnight, a new Emi meets him. They meet at Takatoshi's class, where he's been wanting to draw her since the first time he saw her. Emi has a diary where she's written about their time together, based on what Takatoshi, now 25, told her. She asks the 20-year-old Takatoshi to tell her everything about their last 30 days together in as much detail as possible. She wants to update her diary and relive those moments. Takatoshi happily shares the memories while he draws her, and as he speaks, he starts to cry. Later, Takatoshi stays with Emi until midnight. Just before the clock strikes 12, Emi asks him what kind of girlfriend she was and if he was happy. Takatoshi tells her that the last 30 days with her were the best of his life. He reassures her that they haven't grown apart. The bond between them is still there, connected forever, like a ring that ties their lives together. The clock strikes midnight, and Emi disappears. Takatoshi is initially frustrated, but once he accepts what happened, he calms down. 5 years pass, and Takatoshi is now 25. He meets a 15-year-old Emi and shows her the painting he made of her 5 years ago. Emi looks at it quietly, noticing how much more mature and amazing Takatoshi has become. She feels a mix of joy and sadness, seeing how much they've both changed. Then, 10 years later, Takatoshi saves 5-year-old Emi from a fire at a festival. As he holds her, everything around them feels still, their connection stronger than ever. The film then shows a montage from Emi's point of view, playing in reverse. The memories unfold, leading back to the moment they first met on February 15th. It was their last day together as equals, standing side by side on that train, a moment they would never forget. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe for more content like this, turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update, and leave a like to support the channel.